class. Welcome to Yoga Day 1. Today we'll be doing many of the first steps of our sun salutation. We will be repeating those steps quite a few times for you to get used to them. Start very slow and then try to go a little bit faster in our warm-up session. As always, before we start our sessions, I'd like you to do your self-inventory like I mentioned on our introductory video. What that means is basically find yourself in a comfortable position. You can be on your mat, sitting, laying down, standing, or however you'd like to be, and just kind of do a check throughout your body. Start at your head, kind of work down toward the middle of your stomach and gut, all the way down to those feet and toes. Just kind of checking if there's anything that's tight or hurting, or maybe you're just tense and stressed. So try to get your mind to relax and be in a space where you can be open to our session and kind of engage just your overall intention for the session. So try to find that intention of what you'd like to accomplish through our yoga session each time. Could be just learning the poses and getting used to them. It could be really trying to calm yourself down and taking a moment for yourself. I know with our lives, everyone has different things going on, but take that moment for yourself, whether it's the hour that we're together for our yoga session or longer throughout the day. Before we always start, I always have a mantra that I'll put up for you that you can read along with. It is always great to say it out loud. You don't have to, but the more you can say it to yourself out loud, kind of manifests more with ourselves. So today, our mantra, and a pretty basic one that I'll use a lot, we repeat it 3 times together. So I'll have it up on the screen as I say, I am safe, I am healthy, I am happy, I will live with ease. So we'll say that together 3 times before we start our session. So go ahead and find yourself on your mat in a very comfortable position, however you'd like that to be. So as we're on our mat, we can be standing, sitting, laying down, whatever's comfortable for you. Just go ahead and listen to the sound of my voice while you have your eyes closed and think about those intentions that you want for this session together in our hour-long yoga. So as you're sitting there, kind of feel your sit bones on your mat. Maybe if you're standing, you're feeling your feet grounded towards your mat. And if you're lying down, just feel your body relaxing on your mat. Now as you're feeling comfortable, take a few deep breaths in through the nose and slightly out through the mouth. You hear me say sometimes you want to smell the roses, deep in through your nose, and then blow out candles out through the mouth. And just keep that breath nice and steady as we begin our session. Remember keeping your breath nice and steady, in through the nose, out through the mouth. I want you to take a look at your body, wherever you are, and see how your neck feels and the shoulders. A lot of times we carry a lot of stress in that area of our body. You might feel that your shoulders are a little bit up into your neck, so I want you to take them up to your ears and then roll them back down your back and feel those shoulder blades drop down your back. So if you're sitting up nice and tall now in good posture position. And if you're standing, again, standing nice and tall, chest out. Just try to keep those ears down, or the shoulders down from the ears. And together we'll say our mantra together 3 times. I'll say it for you once, and then we'll say it together 3 times. Again, that mantra is, I am safe, I am healthy, I am happy, I will live with ease. Let's say that together 3 times. I am safe. I am healthy. I am happy. I will live with ease. I am safe. I am healthy. I am happy. I will live with ease. I am safe. I am healthy. I am happy. I will live with ease. Just take a deep breath in. Feel those words flow through your body. And think about those words. And know, together here as we practice, we're in a safe environment. We're lucky to be healthy and able to practice. Hopefully you feel a sense of happiness in whatever your daily life is like. And try to live with that ease. Let that stress go, no negativity go. And again, just take a nice deep breath in through that nose and then out through the mouth. Wherever you are, I want you to find yourself in a standing position. So be on our mat, we'll be standing, whatever that is, nice and tall, being grounded through the feet. I always like to have my feet about hip width distance. And when I stand with my hands out to the side, open to receiving. This pose here is called mountain. And as we work through the sun salutation, make sure that you're still breathing through each pose. There'll be inhales and exhales. We'll be taking it nice and slow. So we'll hold poses for about a 2-breath count. When we get to our faster sun salutation, each breath moves into a new pose. So again, we'll start it nice and slow together. We're going to start in what we call salutation. Okay, so your hands are together here in a prayer pose. This is called standing salutation or standing prayer pose. And just take a deep breath in. Feel those thumbs against the heart. And as we exhale, we're going to reach up to the sky. We call upward salute. And as you exhale, we're going to swan dive, leading with the chest down to a forward fold. And then we lift up to what we call flat back or a half fold. And release back down to that forward fold. As we're warming up, I like to pedal my legs just to start warming up those hamstrings. Good, and then release back into that forward fold. And as we inhale, reaching up into our upward salute. And then drawing those hands down into our salutation. So pretty easy warm up. We're going to do that 4 times. Just warming up the body, warming up those hamstrings. Okay, each time that we go down into our forward fold, hopefully you find that the hamstrings are a little bit warmer. Maybe you can touch a little bit farther. Okay, so nice, easy, slow pace for this first couple of poses. So again, standing in our salutation, feeling nice and grounded on those feet and those toes wide and opened. Hands at prayer at the heart. And on your next inhale, going into your upward salute, reaching back. And then reaching down, swan dive, leading with the chest down into your forward fold. Inhale, up into our flat back. If you notice my hands are about shin height or to the knees. Nice and flat, but we don't want to be rounded. So you want chest out, hips back, and a flat back. And exhale, down to your forward fold. Next inhale, scoop those arms up to the sky, reaching high into that upward salute. And then drawing back down to our salutation. Good, keeping that breath nice and steady. Always moving with intention, feeling each muscle. So take another deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale into your upward salute. And exhale, swan dive, leading with that chest down to your forward fold. Release those hamstrings. Press the hips back in space. And inhale, coming into our flat back, hands about shin height. Exhale, folding back down, release. And on your next inhale, coming swan diving all the way up into our upward salute. And exhale, down to our salutation. Again, standing nice and grounded. Keeping your breath nice and steady. On your next inhale, back into our upward salute. And exhale, swan dive, lead with the chest down to a forward fold. Hopefully you're finding you're getting deeper in that forward fold. If you need to keep pedaling or have a slight bend in your knees, that's okay. Go as far as you can. Inhale into that flat back, hips back in space, chest up. And exhale, folding back down. Really try to release those hamstrings. Press your hips back into space. On your next inhale, reaching all the way up into our upward salute. And exhale, down into salutation. Very good. Go ahead and shake out the legs, shake out the hamstrings. Hopefully you kind of feel those hamstrings a little bit warming up. We're going to move into a few poses that we're going to add into our salutation. Okay, I'm going to show you those poses before we get into our salutation. First one is chair pose. So chair pose is a lot like a squat. So when we do our squats in our fitness testing, the chair will be something that will help strengthen those quads and glutes. So same with the squat that we did. We want to make sure our hips go back and that our toes never go in front of our knees. So I'm going to press my hips back into space and sit down into a squat, keeping the knee in line with the ankle. Again, we don't want our knees to be here. So really press back onto the heels. I should be able to lift my toes. Okay, so all the weight is down into my heels. So I'm nice and grounded there. Hands can stay here at prayer. They can be out in front of you here. Or for full chair, they're above your head. As for the feet, you can stay hip width distance. Okay, more modified would be hip width distance coming down into that chair pose. The closer your feet get, if they're touching, the more difficult the pose is, because we really have to work on keeping those toes or those knees behind the toes the closer our feet are together. So again, whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, either hip distance a little bit closer or feet touching all the way together. You stay in that position of whatever is comfortable for you. Already talked about our mountain pose. Okay, so mountain, hands are to the side. Prayer or salutation is hands at the heart. So when we're out here with our palms open and big and powerful, this is mountain pose. Okay, so just a slight difference between salutation and mountain. Okay, so we'll be using our mountain pose in this next session. We're also going to move into a tree. So tree pose, you can either, we're going to ground on one foot, so I'm on my left foot here, really nice and grounded. I can start with my right foot at my ankle, okay, at the shin, below the knee, or above the knee. What we don't want is to press on the knee and press on that joint. So above the knee, or all the way up into the groin, okay. Big thing here too is that when I'm in this pose, I don't want my knee to be out farther. I'm trying to open my hips. So when I get up here, you can't even see that knee, right? So here I am. I want to be opening the hips as much as I can, Try not to have it forward. So we're opening the hip joints on our tree. Okay, so with that, we'll start with the modified. If I'm at the ankle, I still have my right foot grounded. Hands would start here in prayer, and then find your balance. Okay. Once you feel comfortable and found that balance, I always open my leaves or my branches. If you feel comfortable, the more you're out here, the harder it is to balance. So find balance here, and when you're ready, you can always open your branches. Okay, either way. The last pose that we're going to add in there is a chair with a twist. So I'm going to get into my nice, good chair position, hips back, sitting into that squat, coming into prayer. I'm going to rotate my elbow to the opposite knee. So this is my left elbow coming to my right knee. Open my chest to the side wall. What we don't want here is your knees to bend with each other. So I don't want to be here with one knee's way farther in front of the other. We want our knees to stay parallel together, and when I twist, they don't move. So I don't want them to twist over here. They should stay facing forward and trying to open my chest as much as I can to the wall. Okay? So again, we're going to add those poses into our salutation. We'll find ourselves on our mat. We're in our mountain pose. Feel those feet nice and grounded. Bring those hands to the heart. We're in our salutation. Deep breath in, through the nose, out through the mouth. On your next inhale, moving into upward salute. And exhale, swan dive down to your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, folding back down to the ground. This time, wherever your feet are, we're going to press those hips back, coming into our chair pose. So again, knees stay behind the toes. I should be able to lift my toes. All my weight's in my heels. Hips are back. Chest up. I'm not rounded. So you want chest up. And we can stay here in prayer. If you feel comfortable, bring those hands out in front or up above the head. I'm going to stay here in prayer. As we do our next move, we're going to move into mountain. What I really want you to make sure you're doing is breathing in through your nose, out through the mouth as you burst into mountain. Otherwise, you could get lightheaded. So inhale, and when you exhale, burst into mountain. Awesome, good job. Good, bringing those hands back to prayer. We're going to move into tree. So grounding on that left leg, bring that right foot up, either to that shin, ankle, shin, maybe above the knee. I kind of have to help myself a little bit. Or up into the groin so you don't see any space there. And just hold here, breathe, find that balance. When you feel like you're comfortable and you found that balance, go ahead and branch those leaves out. Good way to kind of help your balance is find a spot to look at on the floor. Really focus on that spot. We'll hold our balance poses quite a bit just to get back up and try again if you fall out. Build strength in our ankles, quads. Good. Coming back down. Hands at heart center. And release that. Foot down, finding that groundness, coming back into our chair. And when you're ready, twisting. Left elbow to right knee. We're in chair with a twist. Again, check the knees. Make sure they're not in front of one another. They're parallel. Try to open your chest as much as you can towards the side wall. Really working on core strength here. Good, coming back to center. And when you're ready again, bursting into your mountain. Make sure you're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth when you burst. Hands come back to heart center. Repeat on the other side. We're coming into our upward salute on our inhale. Exhale, forward folds down. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, folding back down. And again, here we go back into our chair. So hips go back, knees stay in line with that ankle, hands at heart center or out in front or above that head. But making sure that chest is up and out. We're not rounded. Really engaging our core. Feeling the strength in your quads and your glutes. Moving into our mountain, taking that deep breath in through your nose and burst out through the mouth into mountain. Moving to tree on our other side, so I'm grounding on my right leg. I'm going to lift my left foot to my ankle, up to that calf, or above the knee into that groin. You might find one side different than the other. My right leg's actually weaker than my left. So balancing is different on each side. But find that balance wherever's comfortable. Find your focal point to look at. If you fall out, get right back in. Find that balance. And when you're ready, wrench those leaves. And take a look at this leg. We want to make sure that we're opening our hips, the knees not forward. Really try to work on opening as far as you can what's comfortable for you. Fall out. Get back in. Good. Bringing those hands back down to heart center. Release that foot. Pressing those hips back into our chair. And we're doing our twist. So this time, right elbow to the left knee. Open the chest. Try to keep those knees in line and parallel. And just breathe through each pose and each move. Nice and steady. Bring back to the center. Deep breath in through the nose. And when you're ready, bursting into your mountain. Good. Go ahead and shake that out. We're going to repeat that one more time. A little bit faster on some of the poses and moves, especially our sun salutation part. Maybe holding longer. Feel your pose each time. But what I really want you to focus on is the breath. So each time you're moving into a new pose, really breathing and finding that control. And then when you're in a pose, to keep that breath nice and steady. So we're back on our mat, feeling nice and grounded. Hands at that heart center in our salutation. Feel those feet on your mat. Spread those toes wide. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. On your next inhale into upward salute. And exhale, swan dive down to our forward fold. Inhale into our flat back. Exhale, folding back down. Next inhale, coming into our chair pose. Hips go back in space. Find that alignment in your ankles and knees. Feel the strength that you're building. Breathing through this pose. Finding the position that's most comfortable for you. On your next inhale, into exhale, first into your mountain. Big inhale. Exhale to your mountain. Coming into our tree again, we're on our left leg nice and grounded, finding your position on your right knee to be open. So open those hips, hands at heart center. And if you're ready, you can branch those leaves. So we bring those hands down to heart center, release that foot, pressing back into our chair pose, twisting left elbow to right knee, opening the chest. See those knees parallel, so not one in front of the other. Bring back to heart center, and when you're ready, bursting into your mountain. Bring those hands back to heart center in our salutation. And on your next inhale, into our upward salute. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale into your flat back. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Pressing those hips back into space, bringing the hands to heart center into our chair. Remember, keep that weight back in the heels. Chest up, back arched. And when you're ready, on your next deep inhale to exhale, bursting to your mountain. Grounding on that right foot, hands come to heart center. Find your tree pose with the left foot coming up to that shin, up into that groin. And just notice the difference on each side. Find that balance, finding your focal point. And if you're ready and want to, branch open your leaves. And bringing those hands back to heart center, releasing that foot, coming to a nice grounded position, pressing those hips back into space, coming back into our chair, and then twisting that right elbow to the left knee. And focusing on trying to open your chest towards the wall, keeping those knees in good alignment. Weight is in the back of your heels, so you should be able to lift those front toes. Slowly coming back to center. Find that breath, and when you're ready, bursting into your mountain. Awesome job. And shake those legs out again. So as we've learned, sun salutation with our chair pose. That's our goal today. We added a little tree in there, make it a little fun with a chair with a twist. We're just going to work our way back down to our mat. So I'm just going to have you either sit in a nice seated cross position. So if you want to be here, cross-legged, call this crisscross. You can be in what we call a half lotus. So I just have one foot above the other. Full lotus, I can't actually show you, but I'll find a video with someone in full lotus where you're actually wrapped with your feet around. So whatever's comfortable for you on your sit bones. Just going to do some meditation here and then work our way down to our mat. So have a seat. Again, crisscross the spine, half lotus. I like to have our palms facing upward so that you feel open and engaged and willing to receive. So just sit nice and tall. Make sure those shoulders are down from the ears. Lift the top of your skull up to the ceiling so you feel like a string is pulling your head to the top of the ceiling. I'm just going to take some deep breaths in this position right here. Noticing the difference after our practice. Maybe you're feeling looser, or even tighter. Feel those muscles working. Just pay attention to how your body feels. Hopefully you've gained some warmth throughout your body, maybe a little sweat. I want you to slowly just take your feet out in front of you. So we're in our butterfly that we did in our fitness testing. So soles of the feet are together. First sit up nice and tall for me, grabbing the ankles. From here I'm going to just slightly bend forward, trying to keep my back as flat as I can, and then collapsing into those feet. If you want a little deeper stretch, go ahead and bring those elbows to the knees, grabbing here at my ankles, and I'm pressing those knees down with my elbows as I lean forward in that stretch. And slowly coming back up to a nice seated. I'm going to keep my left foot tucked in, my right leg extended. I want to keep my right toes facing up towards the ceiling. So don't let your knee rotate outward. Keep those toes up towards the ceiling. Reach those hands above the head and just slightly lean forward. And reach those hands out as far as you can. You'll feel the stretch in your inner groin. Biggest thing here is we don't want to have our sit bones come off of our mat. So try to ground your sit bones down into your mat. Don't lift off. And slowly walk those hands back towards you. I'm going to reach my chest to the knee that is bent, really working on grounding my right hip down into my mat. And grounding down, reaching my chest towards this bent knee, nice and flat. Should feel a good stretch in the inner side of my right leg. And slowly coming back up, nice seated position. This time going towards the knee that's straight. So again, grounding my left sit bone, reaching my chest. So reaching chest, not head, down towards that knee. Foot is staying straight up towards the ceiling. If you can reach those toes, pull those toes back towards you. If you can't and you have a strap, you can use a strap or a towel. But pulling those toes towards us gives us a little stretch in our calf muscle. I'm going to take that left hand up over my head and now reach that left arm down towards my right foot. If I can grab it, that's great. If not, that's okay. Go as far as you can. And release, coming back up. Let's switch legs. So tucking right foot in, or whichever foot you had. Switching feet. First one, chest up, reaching down towards the front. Keeping sit bones on the mat, reach those hands out as far as you can. Again, keeping that toe up towards the ceiling. Don't let the knee rotate outward. Good. Slowly walking those hands back towards you. This time going to the knee that's bent. I'm reaching my chest down towards that knee, but keeping that left sit bone down, grounded into my mat. Getting that stretch on that inner left thigh. Slowly coming back up nice and tall. Now going to the straight leg, keeping that chest up, grounding our right sit bone down to our mat, reaching our chest down towards that knee. And if you can grab those toes, feel free to grab the toes or use a strap or a towel. And stretching through the calf, through the hamstring. And when ready, reaching that other arm up over the head towards those toes. You can notice a difference from one side to the other. And release, coming back up to seated. We're going to rotate towards our back. So I'd like you to keep your feet out in front of you and just slowly lower yourself down so that you're flat on your mat. Let the feet open up. So I'm here with my knees bent. I'm just going to let my knees fall down where I'm in this open, wide butterfly. I'm laying down. Just let your knees fall to the ground as much as you can. Bring those feet flat on your mat so knees are still bent. And then go ahead and bring those knees in towards your chest and give them a nice good hug. If it feels comfortable, you can kind of rock side to side. Keeping those knees nice and centered. Just drop them down towards the right side, keeping your shoulders down on your mat. I'm opening my left hand, palm facing up, right hand on the top of my left knee. So just a laying down twist. Really let that back relax. Slowly rotating those knees back to center. Give them a good squeeze in the middle. And then slowly letting them drop towards the left side. Shoulders stay flat on the mat. This time left hand's on my right knee, right arm extended. And slowly rotating back to the center. Again, giving those knees a good squeeze. And then releasing the knees, straightening the feet all the way out. Reach the arms up over the head. And then reach the hands in one direction, the feet in the other direction. So feel like you're being pulled by a string. So hands over the head, toes outstretched. Feel all the tension nice and tight in that back. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching a little farther now. Good, and then slowly release those hands down to the sides. Feel the tension release out of the shoulders as the shoulders drop down from the ears. Feel your back begin to release down to your mat. Feel your hips open, and as your knees turn outward, your feet drop to the side. Feel free to close your eyes. Keep those palms facing up. And just let your body sink down into your mat. This pose is actually a yoga pose and usually everyone's favorite. But it's a restorative pose. So at the end of each session, you'll find yourself in this pose. It's called corpse pose or shavasana. So it's your time to relax your brain, relax your body, feel all the tension leave. Find yourself melting into your mat. And just keep your breath nice and steady. You might feel that it gets more shallow. Feel more relaxed. Let yourself drift off. bring that awareness back to your breath. Feel that rise and fall of your chest. And as you begin to slowly wake your body back up, just give your toes a little wiggle. You find your fingers, give those a little wiggle. Maybe slowly bend one elbow and the next. Bending those knees and bringing them flat, with your feet flat on your mat. And then bring those knees into your chest, give them a good hug. When you're ready, rolling over to one side, you can place the arm underneath your head. We call this the fetal position. And then in your own time, slowly pressing yourself up, coming into that nice seated easy pose. Palms facing up. Shoulders down from the ears, chest up. Knowing that you learned something new today. You took time for yourself. Worked on breathing, flexibility, strength. We bring those hands to our heart. Press those thumbs into that heart. Be grateful that you came today and practiced, took that time. And as always, at the end of each session, we'll honor each other and bow to each other and say namaste. Thank you for joining us today. Make sure that you look back and take the short quiz after each session.